Big Sills. My new name should be Nostradamus or Nostradamus or anyway, it's Friday. Here we go, baby. What a great ball game to kick the football season off with last night. I thought the Lions would have an easier way of it. It's Mahomes and Reed. They still pull it out with the points. I think it was 4 points last night. I didn't really think that that was much of a debate. You know, it's funny. People on Twitter started doing this to me. Well, what do you mean they only gave up 14 points? I'm like, I don't care, man. Now, would I have taken the Chiefs if they had Travis Kelce and Chris Jones? Of course I would have. What are you, stupid? Is that the same team? No. Hey, by the way, we're going to get into Gardner Johnson. I thought he looked spectacular. I will say this, though. Couple brick hand moments in that game, but I thought he was everywhere. And we're going to get to that here in a minute, but I want to tell you guys something real cool. So today we're going to give people an opportunity to win some gift certificates with our friends at Hooters and some merchandise. All you have to do is email us when you hear or see the code. That's it. There's your email. Very simple. There's going to be a code word, and we're going to announce the winners on Monday with our great friends at Hooters. Here it is. All you have to do, email your name, address, Hooters code word to dansileoshow@gmail.com to enter your chance to win weekly free giveaways from Hooters and Big Sills. Simple as that. By the way, they'll be mailed out in 7 to 14 days to you, and we'll announce the winner on Mondays. How's that for you? After a great weekend of football. So there'll be a code word that you'll see flash up on the screen. All you have to do is see that code in one of the 7 locations, northeasthooters.com, the home of the National Football Show and Big Sills and the 40th anniversary. And those gift certificates can be yours. Simple as that. This isn't rocket science here with Big Sills. Like I told you, man, I'm like the Joker. Do I look like a guy that has a plan? I want to make this as simple. And, of course, 5-star right out of the gate. What's the code? You'll see it, homie. You'll see it. All right. Last night, Dan Campbell was validated. He was validated. Everybody making fun of him, he was validated. Dan Campbell got validated with that 21-20 win on the road as the Kansas City Chiefs dropped the banner. He got validated. That was a validation win to all the things that he had been telling his guys. Believe in the process. Hey, Josh Harris, that's a process. That's a process when you see results. I thought it'd be 34-17. I did. I didn't think it was going to be that hard. I thought Mahomes was okay. I didn't really think it was that great a game plan from Andy Reid. Hey, also, another note, Jonathan Gannon. Guess who took complete responsibility for the loss last night? Andy Reid. Asked the question about Travis Kelce and Chris Jones not being there. You know what he said? No excuses. This is on me. Jonathan Gannon tries to put blame on other people. That's a head football coach in Kansas City. That's a head football coach. They get on the bus and off the bus with a coach. The guy in Arizona is a fraud. Thought it was a great. Hey, by the way, is it me? Tone, everyone. Jesus criminy, is Jared Goff getting better? And is he like the kryptonite to Patrick Mahomes? That dude beats that guy. Jared Goff beats that guy. It's incredible. He beats that dude. I can't believe it, man. I disagree with you, Pickin. I thought Gardner Johnson was great in that football game. I thought he set the tone with the way he came down and hit people in the run game. I don't know what you were watching. You were watching it with your Haterade Eagle glasses on. because I did not see it that way. That guy was coming down in the run game and blowing people up. I didn't. That is an absolute bold-faced lie that Gardner Johnson didn't play well in that game. He set the tone, hitting people. You're wrong. You just want to try to make a narrative that didn't exist last night. He was good. Gardner Johnson showed up. He looked great. I'll agree, interception he should have had. He blew a ton of pass plays up. There's a reason that secondary started getting alligator arms and having all those drops. You know why? Because that guy was bringing the wood. He was bringing the wood. You don't want to admit it. I'm here to tell it to you the way it is. Okay? Bringing the wood. I wish Gardner Johnson had played that way in the Super Bowl too, though, just to be kind of fair to it all. Brought the wood. And Kansas City wide receivers were like this. Here comes Gardner Johnson. Shit. Guys don't want to admit it. Too bad. He played great last night. He is an important piece to the puzzle if they're going to go far. How you doing, Gardner Johnson? Woo! Are the Eagles going to miss him? So you think you got a safety like that back there in Sidney Brown? I sure hope so. I sure hope so. I sure hope so. Hey, Jared Goff, man, I don't get it. Who would have thunk this? Am I right when I say this? Did the Los Angeles Rams give up on Jared Goff too soon? He had won an NFC championship. By the way, you know what's funny about you guys? Jared Goff is more accomplished than Jalen Hurts. He's been to a Super Bowl. He almost won one. He's won an NFC title. That guy's turning around the Lions. Something Matthew Stafford couldn't do. What has Jalen Hurts done more than Goff? 1 year. This guy's tearing two franchises around, the Rams and the Lions. Is that a lie? Prior to Jared Goff, they were run by Jeff Fisher into the toilet. Matthew Stafford couldn't get out of his way in Detroit. Detroit just went into the home, and something that you've not been able to do the last two games. Beat Kansas City. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, hey, again, picking the Lions, was that really that much of a reach last night? Like Tony and I were saying, Sills, really? And I go, no. I mean, if Travis Kelce and Chris Jones are there, I'm taking Kansas City. I'm taking Kansas City. Absolutely, man. CJ Gardner-Johnson, are you going to, hey, wait a minute. Are you going to miss him? Yes or no this year? Watch this one, Tone. Are you going to be, I never said that the Chiefs were getting back to the Super Bowl. I think both the Chiefs and the Eagles aren't going back. I think both of them aren't going back. Okay? I think both of them aren't. Kansas City is get this. You know what's crazy? Kansas City is showing you just how difficult it is, even when you win the damn game. Are you guys going to miss Gardner Johnson? Yes or no? CJ played average? Interesting. Okay. It's yet to be determined. Good way to go, guys. That's a great take. Because I thought he set a tone last night. I thought he was good, man. I did. I thought he was good. We're going to have a blast today. Patrick Mahomes has nothing to play with you. Could clearly see it. clearly missed Eric Bieniemy. I don't think it had anything to do with Eric Bieniemy. I think it had everything to do with personnel. I told you this. Kansas City doesn't have a very good roster. That quarterback carries that football team. Don't you get it? I said it to you. Kansas City does not have. So wait a minute. You take one player off the Kansas City offense and Travis Kelce. Not even the great Patrick Mahomes can win games. That's the only dude he has. Despite the flaws in his game, I like CJ. I'm not going to just forget his contributions. That's tone. Not even the great. I told you yesterday, if Mahomes wins that game, it'll truly show his greatness. I had no way thinking he was going to win that game with that group of wideouts. I thought the game was going to be a little bit more in Detroit's hands. I thought they were going to win by 10 points instead of 1 point. Gardner Johnson was a dog last night. He was a dog. By the way, I'm going to give you my take on the game on Sunday, and we're going to look at the games this weekend. I'll tell you something, too. That's a great point that Tone just made. Hey, man, that kid from Alabama, he's good. And that kid Montgomery they got from the Bears, that's a pretty formidable running duo that they have in Detroit. And get this, they upgraded off of DeAndre Swift. Those two guys upgraded the Detroit Lions run game last night. Not that Kansas City is some world beater on defense. They're not. That's not a great defense. It wasn't a great defense last year. It's a really good defense with Chris Jones on it. Okay? Dude, yeah. Tone just said, well, Kansas City's run game was bad. Yeah, when you don't have play action and you don't have a threat running up the seam and Travis Kelce, Detroit did not respect the play action. That's why they were getting pressure. Hey, and by the way, the refs, holy shit, dude. How many times were you going to allow the left tackle and the right tackle to jump the count every time you had Aiden Hutchinson on them? I mean, they were lining up in the backfield like they were halfbacks. Holy shit, they gave them every opportunity. Aiden Hutchinson's an effort player. He reminds me of Howie Long a little bit in his effort, okay? He's an effort guy. First, second, third moves, he's got a big-time motor, man. That kid Campbell, too, they drafted. That linebacker from Iowa, he can play. He can play. Hutchinson's really a good football. I'm kind of shocked. He's a good football player. I thought it was an outstanding game. Now, look, is Kansas City cooked? Well, here, if Kansas City was in the NFC, that's not that devastating of a loss. But when you have so many teams in the AFC bunched up, a loss like that could cost you home field advantage or potentially even a division title. It's not like you're in the NFC when there's 4 teams in the NFC. You got like 8 teams in the NFC that could beat you on any given Sunday. Okay? James goes, it's week 1 rust. Oh, but that can't apply to you then, right? The Eagles playing the Patriots on Sunday. Is that how you look at that too? Are you going to apply that to Philly too? I'm with you, brother Hannibal. That kid Gibbs is better than I thought. Again, he's a Bama kid, and he was good at Alabama. I mean, he's good. That's a good-looking football player. And when you put those two dudes together, dude, Jared Goff, man, I can't, you know what? I hated that guy. I thought he stunk out loud. He's getting better. He's got a coach that believes in him. And once again, Dan Campbell put a stamp on him in his coaching style. Dude, that's a process builder. I love Gibbs' game coming out. I wanted him over Bijan, honestly. Gibbs is a weapon in the passing game. Proved that down at Alabama, didn't he? That's a heck of a win for Detroit. Because now you know what you do going into the next week. We beat Kansas City. You can't get any better than that when it comes to pressure and expectations. You beat the best player in the league at the biggest position in the league. Something Hurts can't even do. Something 90% of the 99% of the quarterbacks can't do. Golf plays them insane. Remember that Monday night game that they had, Rams and Chiefs? That dude plays great against Patrick Mahomes, man. Never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. Dude, absolutely. There's places, look, I'll put Lincoln Financial in that building. I'll put them one of the tougher places to play in the NFL. I'll put the link in there. Absolutely. Have no problem saying that. Lincoln Financial is one of the toughest places to play. Arrowhead, Green Bay, Denver. Dude, those are Seattle. Those are hard places to go into and win ball games. Gillette. Telling you, man. Tough win for them. Kudos to Dan Campbell and his process. Okay? Seriously, man. That was a great win. My predictions for Patriots and Eagles on Sunday. Are you guys ready? Look, homework. Homework. I looked at about 6 games from a year ago with both Patriots and Eagles. What do you think about the fake punt near the 20? He had to. You have to instill faith, Troy, in your process. You can't keep telling Troy, you know what that call was? Watch this, Troy. You can't keep telling someone to believe in you if you don't do a play that makes them believe in you. It galvanizes you when you're all doing shit like that. Tony needed some of that stickum. Yeah, because you know why? Gardner Johnson was running around like a maniac back there. He was a ball hawk, man. That guy was looking to knock somebody out. He was looking to knock somebody out. He played with an attitude, shit talking. Please tell me that guy's not a Gator. Is that the kid that went to Florida? Did he go to Florida? Is that guy a Gator? Oh, God, that means I can't like him. If he's a Gator, I can't like him. Ugh. Okay, he's a Gator? Okay. Well, screw him then. Hey, you guys win. Hey, you guys win. All right, screw him. I can't. No. Watch this. Watch this, guys. Big picking. Hey, he played pretty good. Hey, he played pretty good. I don't know, I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah. Guy's a Gator. All right, here we go. Let's do this now. And then we're going to look at the rest of the league. And then my boy, Philly Godfather, in the final hour, 5:30, we'll see if he agrees or disagrees with you and me. And we're going to put points in this now here, too. Okay, here we go. 425 game. Gillette, home of all those great championships. Bill Belichick. You got to start here when you talk about this game. You got to start here. Eagles have the best O-line in pro football. You don't start at wide receiver. You don't start anywhere outside of quarterback. And if you're talking position group, you talk who has the better O-line. There's no debate in the National Football League heading into another season that the staple of the Philadelphia Eagles is that great O-line they have. They are absolutely spectacular up front. There's not a debate who the best O-line is. You can have a guy lie to you, but we all know the best O-line's in Philly. It's just, it represents everything that you are and your identity. You're bullies. Play like a bully. When you get into that game, play like you bullied that Patriot team in 17. Bully them. You bullied them. There was a bully mentality in that Super Bowl. I came away going, I've never seen the Patriots get their ass kicked like that. And I'm talking about a fist fight. It was being out-bullied. Schemes and plays are all great. They define moments in games. But I'm going to say it. Aunt Betty, excuse me. You fuckers were bullies. And it was fabulous to watch. Collinsworth's a Gator. Ugh. You were bullies. That's your identity. Stick to it. Stay to it. You have a quarterback. You see, all the stuff that I've been saying in the offseason here, I think you'll get an understanding of how I look at your team here. You have a quarterback that extends plays with his legs like no other quarterback, including Patrick Mahomes in pro football. He's devastating on third down. He's the most devastating third down player at quarterback in pro football. It's Jalen Hurts. Most devastating third down. How many times last year did I go sitting and watching a game saying this about Hurts? I don't care if it's 3rd and 12. This guy's picking that shit up. He is devastating on third down. And the longer, get this, it's almost like the longer it is, like 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, more you got to drop your guys back, the less people you have to cover them in open space. I mean, you have 3 great pass-catching targets in that Eagle offense. I mean, it's very opportunistic, too, in how they approach each and every single sequence in the series. And again, most important is how they handled themselves on third down. They were the best team in the league on third down last year. Now, this is going to be significant as I go into why that's significant. You guys were so awesome on third down. I mean, I rarely remember you guys not picking it up. And to me, get this. Remember this. I don't want to see you throwing the ball deep. You don't have to. You're bullies. Here's why that's significant on how great the Eagles are on third down. In 2021, the Patriots finished 21st in third down defense. So you add up one of the best third down teams in the league, and I'm not talking about throwing the ball down the field. I'm talking about lining up and kicking the shit out of you. If I'm New England, that's a concern for me. They were 22nd in red zone defense. They were 27th in defense and goal to goal. So that fourth down play you have with your quarterback, boy, I'll tell you something, man. Don't let them get that train rolling on you, because it'll be a one-stop trip. If that Eagle team gets that bitch rolling, now if they come out and they start thinking cute and they get 3 and outs because they're throwing the ball around, they're going to keep New England in the ball game. Run the bitch down their throat. They're terrible. 21st on third down defense, 22nd in red zone defense, 27th in goal to goal. I mean, those stats, and they're bringing the same group back, and you're bringing the same group back. So we're not talking about a lot of change in personnel here. That right there is something when you're game planning, And here, Brian Johnson knows all this. He knows all of those stats that the quarterback sneak is amazing. Now, here's the one thing, though, that you have to remember that New England has. They were really good against the run. And they were really good at getting home. They have an elite pass rushing group. So what's the key here? Run the ball. You got to run the ball. Get this. Keep every sequence third and short. That was such a major factor last year in how Philly won all those games. They were never third and long. They were rarely third and long. Rarely third and long. Birds averaged 28 points last year. You have to think, going into this game, they're going to at least score 24 points. I mean, there's really very little personnel change here. You have to at least go, you have to at least go, you see 24 points. Okay? Right? I mean, 24 is low to me. Patriots offense. I mean, if you think about it, you look at the numbers, they averaged 18.9 points a game offensively, and then with their defensive returns and special teams, they averaged 21 points a game as a team, 18-9 as an offense. Man, you got to score some points to beat that team. If you can't score points, there's no shot. There's no shot. Pats have to attack. They have to attack the Birds, and they have to keep them off the field. Okay? They have to keep them off the field if they're going to win that opportunity to win the game. Have to keep Hurts in that offense at bay. What does that mean? You have to have controlled drives where you're getting 10 or more. Okay? You have to have controlled drives if you're going to do it. Here's my prediction. Week 1, we saw what happened last night. 27-20. I got the Eagles winning the home opener on Brady night in Gillette. Going 27-20. Philadelphia in week 1. And the reason it's 27-20, you just have too many question marks on defense. And you can't answer them here today. None of you can. And I'm not going into a football game analyzing a defense with question marks. Your defense has too many holes in it that you have no idea. Now, could all those holes be filled come week 2? Sure. But there's not a chance you're going to sit here and go, well, the Eagles are going to score 40. That's not going to happen because your defense is not ready yet. And your defense is suspect. And the most important thing, your defense is suspect because of your run defense. Your run defense is not that great. Patriots have to run. They have to run the wheels off Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke. A lot of screens, a lot of checkdowns. I personally don't think you have the linebackers or the safeties to cover them. That's an opinion. I don't think you have those guys to cover them. You didn't have them last year. What makes you think you have guys this year? You're a lesser experienced football team this year, and yet you guys think you have a better opportunity at covering people? And you're smaller. Do you understand you're a smaller group this year? In your safety position and linebacker position, you're smaller. You're a smaller group of guys. No, it's not an opinion. You are smaller. That's a fact. Okay? Senor goes, the Patriots offense is garbage. Well, they have the best back, and they have tight ends you can't cover, in my opinion. We'll find out. And by the way, great quarterbacks didn't beat you but one last year. Average quarterbacks beat you. Andy Dalton and Tyler Heineke beat you. I mean, let's not be crazy here. Mac Jones is better than those guys. He's better than Tyler Heineke and Andy Dalton. I say the game is this, too. This is going to come down again up front like it did in 17. It's going to come down. Hey, you want to hear an opinion? I think your boy in the middle is outmatched in this game. But hey, hey, Tone, no disrespect to anybody. You know I love D Gun. I know guys who couldn't read. I know guys who had very limited education in the school and in classroom. They couldn't write their name. You put them on a football field, they were savants. Because you have an electronical engineer, or because you're a brain surgeon, or because you know how to put bombs together, or because you're great on debate teams, doesn't mean you know what you're doing out there. It has nothing to do with it. I don't give a shit how many degrees you have. If you're not football savvy and you're not football understanding and seeing schemes and understanding schemes, it doesn't matter what your degree says. Seriously, I know guys who can't write their name. You get them on a field, they know every single guy's responsibility and his position. And that guy couldn't write a check to pay for his rent. It's dumb. It's a dumb conversation because he's smart. What's that got to do with? This is a different smart. Now, if you're getting a job and applying for a job at NASA, that's important to have. But when you're applying for the starting position of middle linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles, and you got to go do your first assignment in New England at Gillette, that has nothing to do with it. Absolutely has nothing to do with it. Zero. Guy's smart. Is he football smart? Yes. How do you know that he hasn't played? Oh, he was at Georgia. And he graduated with a mechanical engineer. Should have went to Harvard then. Lawrence Taylor used to go on drug binges. Sleep in meetings. Belichick would wake him up. He'd know every single guy's responsibility. Guy bounced checks to pay his electricity and his rent. Mechanical engineering degree didn't help LT. Has nothing to do with it. Has everything to do with, as Tone says, you put your name on a test. That don't mean you graduated. Right now, Jacoby's got his name on the test. We're going to find out if he passed the class on Sunday. I don't think he's set up for it. I think they've given him too much. The play would have been Edwards. We know this. I'm not going to relitigate anything here. Okay? Evan goes, Zeke is done. Okay. But not Rashad Penny, right? See, when Evan says stuff, when people say and fans say that stuff, Zeke is done. Had 1,000 yards last year. But Penny's not done, right? 57 carries a year in 5 years. Jameson, You shouldn't be. You have the better team. You don't have the better coaching, and you don't have the better special teams. But you have the best leader on the field at quarterback. And I think he's going to carry that thing across the finish line for you. I think it's going to set up for a pretty good first month of the season. Jalen Hurts carries that franchise. Carries the coaching. He does carry it. Because he carries it in spirit. He carries it in spirit. Dude, in a game like this, that goes a long way. That shit goes a long way. When you're down in the fourth quarter, your defense is not playing well, and you got to make a play. Okay? Pats goes, O-line is horrendous. And Scott goes, the Patriots, get this. Scott thinks the Patriots O-line is horrendous, and he's got two guys in there, one who's never played and another guy who underachieved last year, and he says the Patriots O-line is terrible, but doesn't aim the same question marks at his two tackles. It's incompetence to think that going into a game. You're incompetent. You're talking about pro guys when you say they're not very good, and you got guys who've never played. And one guy who didn't play well. So who's the real? See, you're missing it. You don't have to see superstars to beat you. You don't have to. Shit, I saw Tyler Heineke beat you. Full strength. Like this. So you guys think you have better linebackers that can cover the Hunter Henry and the other guy that they have, the kid from Miami. You don't. Where? Who? The guy who got off the street, Zach Cunningham, and a guy who didn't play it down last year. You think those guys are better. Where would you think that? We should have picked up Zeke. Now I have to deal with bag of pennies. I love that line. Rashad, bag of pennies. This is going to be won in the middle of the field. Because to me, the Patriots are not going to try to go plus 25 in passes. They can't, because I will concede that Sills goes Hunter Henry. Who's your linebackers? Who you couldn't cover anyone last year, real. Who's covering them? That Schwimp, N'Kobe? I can't wait to see that. I don't believe it. That's an opinion, Quan. That's an opinion. I don't think he can. Well, those guys aren't great. Who said you were? Eli Ricks? Who's that? Devin goes, the dude says whatever. What's wrong? This guy wants me to give kudos to a guy that's never taken a regular season NFL snap and say he's better than a seasoned pro. That's disrespecting your opponent. That's what most fans do. It's okay. It's common. Slow brow thinking, but it's common. Dean will have 15 tackles. If New England gets that ball moving, he won't make the game. I don't think that guy is the answer at Mike. Name me a linebacker that you've drafted in the last 20 years that's worth a shit. That's an inside linebacker. Name me one. One. You had to go out and rent him. Name me one. And you had to find a free agent. Name me one. Trotter? So we're going back to the early 2000s then. Is that right? Trotter. Was that 2004? Well, what was that? 2003? 20 years ago? This game is going to be attacked running the ball. I would say this to you. New England is going to run the ball at least 38 times. You're going to see tons of checkdowns, screens, and they're going to want to punt because they're trying to win three actually, important keys here. Do you know the Patriots were one of the top teams in National Football last year in turnover takeaways? That team had 30 takeaways last year. Okay? They don't give the ball up. They don't. They do not give the ball up. Tom, I'm not saying Dean's a bust. I'm just saying that he's not the answer there. I think he's more of an outside backer. I'd have put him at the will backer. Like what Buddy did with Seth. I would have moved him from the will, moved him over to the Sam, and then moved him into the middle. At least kind of like matriculated him into playing Mike. Instead, they're just throwing him in there like he's going to do it and replace 160 tackles. That's absurd. That's insane and absurd to think he can do that, having never played. I give a shit about 34 plays. And they're going to attack the linebackers because that's the weakest part of the team with the safeties. The middle of the field has been the weakest part of the Eagle defense along with the run defense the last 2 years. Not being able to cover. You'd have not had cover linebackers in 2 years, but you haven't had to worry about really taking on really great quarterbacks. You did in the first year of Jalen starting, and that's why you were 9-8. Because you couldn't defend people, even like Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr was like 80% or 90% against you in completion percentage. And now you're lesser experienced in the middle there. They're going to attack that. And New England's going to win special teams, which means they're going to win field position. If they stop, that's a big if. And by the way, your best running back is your quarterback. So Jalen's going to have to run the ball a ton. A ton. Giving more opportunity to getting hit. And if I'm Belichick, I am going to put as many hats on that guy and tenderize that guy as much as I can. The key is getting the ball out of his hands. An RPO quarterback, you put the wood on him. And they got a good defense. They were 8th in the league last year. They're going to put the wood on him. How about this? Let me think. What defense did you take on last year that finished 8th in the league last year? Did you take on a defense like that? Now, look, I don't think they're really that great in the secondary. But here's the key. They are great at getting home. They are great at getting home. They were 3rd in sacks. Okay? 27-20. Eagles win the game. And I think this bitch is going to be an absolute brawl. You're not better than them on defense. Stop thinking that. And it might help you understand some clarity here. Where are you better? You have a pass rusher, and where else? Corner? Yes. Corner, you're not better at safety. You're not better at linebacker. They got edge rushers too. And they got better defensive tackles that play the run. They were in the top 10 in stopping the run last year. They had a formidable run defense. You couldn't stop it. You were 16th. Year before that, you were 22nd. You can't stop the run. Look, I just told Sway he was 16th and 22nd in the last 2 years of stopping the run. Says that's bullshit. That's not bullshit. That's not an opinion. That's not an opinion. Okay? I don't feel bad at anything I'm saying. Tone, what do you think the score is in this game on Sunday? Just curious. I think 27-20 is a good score. Opening week at Gillette, on the road versus Belichick. One of the better coaching staffs in the league. I think that's an impressive win. Remember something, 11, I don't feel bad for anything. 31-23. So he's got it by 8. Not far off. Okay? I just can't see the Patriots scoring 21 points. Because I'm with you guys at least on this. I just don't kind of see that. But the two guys to keep an eyeball on, actually 3. There's 3 places. Okay? So Luffy thinks that defense, who has been not tested anywhere, it's not the same unit as a year ago, is going to hold New England to 10 points. And the 8th-ranked defense is going to give up 42 points. This is classic, man. You guys, but then again, you guys thought that Kansas City was going to beat the hell out of the Lions last night. I said, not a chance. Again, I thought it would have been a bigger score because I don't really think Kansas City has. Can you imagine this? Okay. Kansas City, they still almost beat that team, and they had Kelsey on there. They probably win that game. Make them wideouts a little bit better and open. Okay. You think the Eagles are going to beat that Kansas City team? Do you? Hey, they'll probably have Chris Jones, though, and Kelsey back, so it'll be a different team. Okay? It'll be a different team. So that's not a fair question. Yeah, but Tyler, that's not a fair question. They'll probably have Jones and Kelsey back by then. Shit, they may even add a wideout because if I told you, they got garbage. They got stripper names, Skylar Moore and shit. I mean, don't ever believe anything Chris Collinsworth says. After the game, Chris Collinsworth's like saying, I can't wait to see what the Giants have. All the skilled people they added. I'm like, Darren Waller and who? I mean, don't overcook it, dude. Darren Waller and who? Does anybody in the New York Giant offense scare you? I mean, I saw all those stripper names. Tony, Skylar Moore. This guy was throwing the strippers. Is Waller already hurt? What'd he do? Let me guess. He tripped coming off the bus. Or either that, Micah, he fell over his wallet. Probably fell over his wallet, dropped out of his pocket because he's the highest paid tight end, Darren Waller. He probably tripped over his wallet. Yeah. Dude, Kansas City ain't going back to the Super Bowl, and they're not going back to the AFC title game. That roster, Brett Veach and Andy Reid, have done a poor job at retooling it. Hey, and by the way, you know what you guys were telling me? Remember 2 years ago? Hey, Tone, you should have seen this one. I was telling you about that kid, McDuff from Washington, that he's a good football player. He's an exceptional football player. I wanted them to draft him instead of Jordan Davis. And you know what the people here were saying? He's not good. He's not a good ball player. I voted for that kid for All-American. I said, remember they had 3 draft picks, and I wanted him to be one of them. And I wanted him instead of Jordan Davis. And everyone in Philly's like, no. As Xander. Well, you guys know. You were listening to me. Okay? Yeah, no, but you know, no, the guy, he's too much of a schwimp. He's out in wash. I'm like, this guy's a good ball player. Okay. Remember when Dan said that Veach is the best GM in the league? I did say that because he was coming off a Super Bowl win. But after watching the first game and seeing the lack of talent on the team, they've done a poor job at retooling this year's team. Am I wrong? You see, you got to understand something here, 29. When you look at someone and what they're doing in building an organization or a team or a player's performance, the team's going to dictate the take. This is not fortune telling. Either the organization's getting better, the player's getting better, or the organization's getting worse, or the player's getting worse. I sit and look at that. That's how I do my show. I don't sit around and guess. I'll let you know when I say, I don't believe Nakobe Dean's the guy. I'll let you know that take. Okay? No. Mara, what's funny is you guys hold to these asshole takes, and then you get mad at yourselves because you flip-flopped on Carson Wentz. And then you try to apply that BS to me. Wentz is our guy. He's legend. No, I never said that. Of course you didn't. At least have the balls to say you did. At least have the balls to say you did. And that the player's performance dictated how you see him today. Flip-flop that. So get this. Mara goes, it's flip-flopping if you start out saying, boy, Carson Wentz really looks great this year. And in the fourth year, what a horrible ending his career was in Philly. That's flip-flop? Or is that fact? So you don't want to tell the truth? You want to stick and hold on to some stupid take to try to validate yourself? That's the dumbest things and the craziest ways I've ever seen it. Okay? Whatever, guy. Moving on. Okay? I would say this to you. Do you think that's the same football team in Kansas City when Andy Reid was given total autonomy when John Dorsey was there? I said this to you a couple months ago, and Tone was there when I said this. John Dorsey's the guy that found Patrick Mahomes. John Dorsey's the guy that found Tyreek Hill. John Dorsey's the guy that put all those players on that team. He was the guy. He had a horrible bedside manner. Andy Reid ran to Clark Hunt and didn't want him to give more autonomy to John Dorsey, so they fired him. He moved his guy Veach in. Those guys went on to win 2 Super Bowls, and as the process of the Super Bowls, this is what's happened. You've lost Honey Badger. You've lost Tyreek Hill. You've lost, and in injuries, you lost this game on Chris Jones over finances, and a guy got hurt. 4 players have made you a lesser team than the first time around. And you're trying to tell me that that hasn't happened. If I was a good husband in years 1 through 5, but then became a terrible husband in year 6, and my wife takes notice, did she flip-flop on me? No. She just has eyes. It's called truth, Tone. How come my wife's divorcing me in my 20th year? Didn't she like what? You changed. It's totally. Football's like a relationship, dude. Idiotic. Dude, whatever, guy. Yeah, you're right. You got the same football team. Hey, here, I'll tell you what we'll do here. I'll tell you what we'll do. Here's for some of you. Hey, you guys got a better team than you did a year ago. Your coaching staff's better than Bill Belichick's. You know, you got the best defense in the National Football League. Your offense is spectacular. Be the best. You got the most complete team in the NFL. No one's going to beat you. Don't worry about it. Hey, you'll probably win that game 42-10. There. That's for some of you guys. Okay? That's for some of you guys. Because some of you guys, again, funny, man. I can't. Hey, do you know, like Tone said, like he said, okay? Like he said, man, I can't wait till Sunday. Hey, before we get to the top of the hour and we look at the league, I got some prop bets here for you for the Eagles in this game against the Patriots. Ready? All right. Hurts. Over or under 2.5 touchdowns on Sunday night. Over, under. I think he gets 3 TDs. I'm going over. Combined, rushing and throwing. I think he gets over 3. I think he gets 3 touchdowns. I think he's accounted for 3 touchdowns in that game. Al Gooden couldn't hold your jockstrap, Sills. Golden is a half a sandwich kind of guy. How you doing, Cue Ball? Cue Ball, get this when everybody in. Hey, Cue Ball, doesn't this kind of remind you of these Philly guys? Doesn't it kind of remind you of the Miami guys when those guys were 99%? Hey, by the way, Joe Burrow put the gun to the contract. Yes, he sure did. Hey, Cue Ball, do you remember what they used to do on QAM down in Miami? At Miami Hurricane radio shows, they would start a chant, "Fire Sileo," because I said Al Golden was the biggest loser coach we've ever hired. They were starting chants with "Fire Sileo" on my own network, on my own radio station. 2 years later, he was fired. Here you go, baby. Zeke Elliott. Does he score 1 TD over or under? So you've been hated your whole career. Yeah. You got to remember something, JM. I played on the most hated American sports sports team in American sports history. That's a merit badge to me. Sports Illustrated called my team, including your Broad Street Bullies, the Pistons, they called my 86 Hurricane team the most hated team in American sports history. And I was one of the stars on that team. So when you say shit like that to me, it's a merit badge. Yes. Yoo-hoo! Hey, tell me this. When you're on the biggest and most hated American sports team in history, is that not a merit badge? No, Keon. All of American sports. Not college. All. SI did it, not Big Sills. Google it if you know how. GOOGLE.com. Very simple. Easy to Google. DeAndre Swift. Over under 30 yards receiving. Over under 30 yards receiving. Put those electronical... now, dude, my degree, you fold it up and put it in your wallet. That's the degree you get from Miami back in the day when we were good. You folded your degree up, Tone, put it in your wallet. It's the only degree I want. I think he's over 2. I could see him around 47 yards. Hurts over under 275 yards in total offense. $250 yards. What do you think? I think he's over 275. Eagles run defense. Over under 175.5 yards rushing. Here's the game. Here's one of the components of the game. 175.5 over under and Eagles rush defense. You think they're going to give up under 175.5? They're going to have to if they're going to win. I think they'll give up less than that too. I'll take the under in that. That's where I'm at, Tone. I think about 150. 45-ish, something like that. Because here, guys, when I say this, well, not only that too, Trey. They may have 46 carries and 160 yards. That's really not a great yards per carry. You know what I mean? Because, dude, I'm not putting a football game in Daniel Jones's hands. He's going to have to make 10 plays in that game to win. And they're going to have to be calculated plays. Okay? They're going to have to be calculated plays. So I'm going to run that ball. Defense, I got 2 more, Tone, before the timeout. Eagle defense, do they give up over or under 345 yards in total offense? I think 375 is troublesome if they are up near that number. So I put 345. Do you think over or under total yards the Eagle defense gives up? So Tone said 150 rushing, 250 passing. That's 400 yards. I'm going to say over. I'm going to say that Eagle defense is going to give up 400 yards, north of 400 yards. It's only 250 passing and 150 rushing. Okay? 345 yards of total offense. I say they give up 400 yards in offense. 250 passing, 150 rushing. I mean, will the Eagles hold the Patriots to under 21.5 points? I say under. I say under. I do. I say under. I think they're only going to score 20. That's why they got 27-20. So, all right, we're going to look at the league now. I think there's so many great games coming up. So many more question marks in this game on Sunday, Eagles and Patriots. We'll talk more on that. Please do me a favor. Do not forget, it's the 40th anniversary of our great, great, great friends at Hooters. And look, with the 40th anniversary, please do me a favor. Go in this weekend. NortheastHooters.com. Find one of the 7 locations nearest you for you to be able to go in and celebrate what is going to be an absolutely fabulous year. Now, listen, here's one thing also. If you don't want to go into one of the restaurants, you want to take the food home with you, HootersToGo.com is there for you. Some of the great specials during this 40th anniversary. Hey, look, buy 10 wings and you get 10 boneless ones for free. Wing Wednesdays, 1983, all you can eat. Kids eat for free on Saturdays. NortheastHooters.com. Log on. Find one of the 7 locations. And by the way, King of Prussia, we're going to be doing so many great events with the folks there in the Philadelphia area. We cannot wait. We are so excited. When we come back out of the timeout, we're going to talk NFL Week 1. We'll take a look again at some of the players that have to be singled out for this Patriots-Eagles game on Sunday. We'll do all that. Hit the like button. Hour number 2. Keep it here, National Football Show.